Well, isn't this a different way of doing church? And a good one too. Because if you don't like what I'm saying or you're not interested, you can just fast forward me. So maybe I'll see you at the end. Pastor Brad asked me to share a little bit about my journey and what's been happening in my life this year. I'm currently on long service leave after the full break over the Christmas holidays, so you would think that I'm feeling fairly relaxed. I did go back to work for 3 weeks at the beginning of school just to get everything sorted out for my school. And it was at that time when I was sitting and trying to listen to God that I heard him say to me that my words for this year or for the foreseeable future, until he gives me another set of words, is be still. Now, you probably know this from the Psalm 46, be still and know that I'm God. Interestingly, the next part of that verse says, I will be honoured by every nation. I will be honoured throughout the world. Now, isn't that just what we want? But for me, the exact words were, be still. I am not a still person. I am with an inventor, father, who was constantly thinking of a variety of ways of solving all manner of problems. I was brought up to have a busy mind, and I have busy hands, creative, and it's just not really a very strong part of my life. So this word of being still was quite challenging to me. Add to that my interest in the health sphere, where I'm constantly reading about ways to really use God's creation to heal myself and to live the best life that I can. I was reading David Perlmutter's book called Brainwash, which has just recently come out, and he talked about stillness, or he called it mindfulness, as a real way of healing your body. It can lower your blood pressure, help with depression, all sorts of other things, but most importantly, at this particular stage in the game, build immunity. So for all of those reasons, I knew that I needed to work on my stillness for my obedience to God and for my health. So for that endeavour, I started to work on being still. I downloaded some Christian meditation apps. I started to learn how to still my mind, still my body, and try and focus on the here and now. And it was minorly successful. I was then privileged last week to go to a retreat where this was part of the daily practice. Now, we did all sorts of stuff, and my body has moved in ways it has not moved probably ever. But I got over that and I enjoyed every minute of it. Well, maybe not while I was going through it, but I enjoyed it. And I came away to a very different world because it was a complete digital detox too. It was 5 days of no media, no phones, no iPads. I'm one of these people who has 4 or 5 devices on the go all the time. So that was a big challenge to me as well. Anyway, back to the being still. I participated in a number of stillness activities, meditations, overlaying, of course, my Christian worldview. So every time they talked about your inner being, I thought about the Holy Spirit that was in me. And I was able to be still in a way that I've never been able to before. What is interesting is that when I came home to a very different world that was changing at an amazing rate, I realised that I wasn't still anymore. I realised that that still sensation that I had had on that retreat with God was not something that I had felt out here in the world. Now, admittedly, we were in a bubble. So my challenge to myself now is to be still and know I am God in the midst of this chaos. I know what that feeling is. You might have experienced it before. I hope you have. But if you haven't, for your immune system, as well as your Christian walk, be still and know that I am God. Such an important message to me personally, and hopefully for you. And I hope that you might take up the challenge to, in your home confinement, when you're stuck at home, to find yourself a quiet place, do some deep breathing, not just shallow chest breathing, but right from the stomach. Put your hands on your stomach. Deep breathe in, breathe out really deeply, and then see if you can relax all of your body. If you have to, think about each part of your body, relax it, and then start thinking about our God and be grateful. That's another way of boosting your immune system. Be grateful for who He is. Being in awe and wonder is another way of boosting our immune system. These are research statements. I can provide the research on all of these statements if you want. So be grateful, be in awe and wonder of our God, be relaxed, be still, and know that He is God. Just spend some time. Try 12 minutes a day, apparently is the magic number. If you can manage that, that would be great. I know that you will benefit from that sort of immune system boost, as well as just acknowledging our God for who He is. So this is what I'm encouraging you to do. Also, can't leave you without a recipe. I love creating things from nothing. Here is one that I learnt at our retreat last week, and I think it'll be great considering that this virus that we are waiting for affects your lungs. So I've got mine in the cupboard. It's in that cupboard behind me. It is something that will need to be laid down for about 3 months, though I think if you took it out before it wouldn't matter. Beautiful, easy cough syrup. Half an onion, chop it up pretty roughly, just cover it with an unpasteurized raw honey and let it sit. Now, honey is viscous, and you will notice that in a day or two, I'll just get mine so you can see it. In a day or two, it becomes quite loose. This is the bit that all the boys can turn off for. That's got to be in the cupboard for 3 or 4 months. Mine's coming out in June. And what a great way to sip on that if you happen to have a sore throat or breathing difficulties or a cough. So you can have a go at that. Once you've strained it out and put your cough syrup into the fridge, which will last for another couple of months, you can take the onions, which are now honeyized, and you can use them in whatever, with the barbecue or in your stir-fry veggies, and you'll end up with caramelized onions. So, my 2 messages: stay safe, boost your immune system with mindfulness, be stillness, and know that God, He is God. Know it. And you can't really do that when you're engaged in the world. So I hope this has been useful. Hopefully some of you are still waiting for the end. And God bless. By the way, I'd love to have a virtual coffee with you. If you're interested, just contact me and we'll set up a date and use this time to connect with each other in our body. Bye, guys.